Good evening, welcome everyone. It's Lightroom Live. It's Tuesday. Monday was a holiday for me, so it feels like Monday, if I'm honest. Hope everyone is well. Hope you're all staying safe and warm. I know it's definitely been some snowy conditions across most of North America lately, so yeah, I've got my little portable heater on underneath here, keeping my feet warm because the basement is freezing as usual. Why don't you check in? Let me know where you are watching from, and we're going to get right into it. I'm pretty sure Quack RC is already watching. He's probably super thrilled because we're finally doing his F100 tonight. I know what an F100 is now. So, yeah, I think that's as good a place as any to start. Um, I had a pretty good day. My Prusa i3 Plus Mark III showed up today. I did a little quick unboxing on the reels over on the Instagram, so you can go check that out if you like. If you are not familiar with Lightroom Live and what this show is all about, it's where I take your photos of RC trucks. Usually, I get boats, I get cars, I get all kinds of stuff, but trucks is the focus. And I take those photos into Lightroom, which is an Adobe product, and basically kind of photo correct these and make them look a lot better. And then I send them back to you. So if you would like to participate in this, you can email me your photos, submissions@scalebuildersguild.com. And that's pretty much how it works. So let's get into it. There is the Lightroom interface that you've all come to know and love over the last 26 episodes. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to go over to our Develop tab, which is where we do all of our corrections. Now I'm going to check through some of the comments here. Idaho, Vancouver, Washington, Rhode Island, live from the kitchen doing dishes. Let's just let them air dry tonight, Joe. Alexander Guzman, this stream should be about the Prusa. Come on now. Yeah, no, absolutely. It should be if there was anything photographic to do with it. We'll definitely get into that. And if you guys are interested, maybe we do a little tiny bit of live streaming of the actual build. I've never built one. This will be all new to me, so you can watch me struggle through it together. All right. No, Stompin' Daka, you're just on time. Lone Star RC Guy, Dana Surrett, Fred Williamson, Mike Philpott, Mini Line. Great to see everybody tonight. Love the Aussies. Thanks for checking in, Highway to Hell. All right, let's get right to this photo. I think Quack RC has been waiting probably since this started to get this photo done. I'm finally getting to it. I hope he's here watching, because otherwise that'd be really embarrassing. Actually, you know what? Maybe we don't start on it. Maybe we'll wait to see him check in and then we'll get on it. All right, so let's actually do that. Let's make sure we don't forget lucky number 13 tonight. All right, let's go back to number 1. Yeah, a guy and a moose. I did get my Prusa today. I'm pretty excited. Let's start with Robert Dale's photo here. This looks to be a Axial Wraith 1.9 with some Super Swampers on there and maybe even Incision shocks. He's definitely got the Incision upgrade links, so that's pretty cool. Nice looking truck, good looking background. Probably going to start with a crop. I feel like that's probably going to help this a little bit. And no, I'm going to do it tonight, Mike, not to worry. I just want to make sure he's actually on the stream watching it live, because I know he's been waiting a long time, and I'd hate for him to see it on repeat. That would be really embarrassing. All right. Little tip for you, Robert, for the next time you want to submit a photo. I like the background. I like the foreground elements. Wouldn't mind seeing a little tiny bit more truck. Just a little bit of the roof line, maybe. A little more 3/4 on the angle, just so we see a little bit more of the truck in the frame. I think that would make this photo 10 times better. It's already pretty great, though. Let me see if I can get rid of some of these elements here. There's a leaf there that I don't really love. So we'll try and get rid of that. That'll do it. Like it was never there. White balance looks pretty good. Maybe warm it up a touch. And I think we'll pull our exposure down a little tiny bit. And maybe introduce a little less contrast overall. And, I'm sure everybody got the photos from last week that I sent out. They should have been sent out today, so you should have them in your inbox. If you're going to post them, be sure to tag the Skill Builders Guild on your Instagram so I can see them. I love seeing them out in the world, so make sure you do. It's all about the hips. It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. Bringing our highlights down a little touch there. We're going to bring up our shadows at the same time. See a little bit more of the undercarriage a little bit. We're actually even getting a little more density, or a little less density now, so we can actually see some of the elements of that truck. It looks like it's got inner fenders. Does this truck come with inner fenders? I feel like it does. Moose jaw. I figured you'd type that one out. You know your quotes too well for you to have gotten that one so wrong. All right, a little bit of texture and a little bit of clarity. If you've watched this show before, you know there's definitely a pattern to how this all goes. All right, a little more vibrance, but we're going to leave saturation right where it is. And let's go down to our HSL sliders, and I want to get more orange saturating in there. Maybe even pull down its luminance ever so slightly. And we'll see if we can get the hue to get a little more towards its natural oranginess without any fringing. There we go. That's feeling pretty good. And I like the texture that we've got going on the wheels on the tires now. I'm watching your friend build his Jeep on TV, the one that made your Jeep. Oh, Wes, is he doing a build right now, a live build? That would be pretty cool to check out. Maybe we'll end this stream and just go over and watch him do it. Let's throw a vignette on this one. I'm going to go on a medium kind of tip for that one there. And let's go back up to our brushes here. Brushes are fun. Let's go into this enhanced trees one, and we'll go for a pretty big brush size here and just do a little bit of work on some of these elements here, just so there's a bit of a focus now on your eye. And in fact, we're going to help that focus further. Say done for that. Oops. Go into our radial window here, pull that up, and instead of that, we're going to go exposure and just boost our exposure a little tiny bit more. And that's it. Oh, Quack RC's here now. Excellent. Great. All right. So there's that one for Robert. Let's go full screen for a moment and go before and after. It's a subtle correction, but it's a pretty big improvement. It really does draw your eye to the truck now. And just that little bit in the texture of the rocks has really helped. And it's just nice to kind of correct a photo, not make it like have a look for any reason. Before, after. I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that one. Thank you, Robert, for your submission. Again, if you want to submit your own photos, submissions at scalebuildersguild.com. No, Bo, we are not going for 3 hours tonight. I want to build my printer. I'm going to find some time to do that. Okay, so here's Quack RC's F100. I'm ready to correct it. I've been waiting a long time. Well, I haven't been waiting a long time. Quack RC's been waiting a long time. And I just, if you haven't checked out his channel, he's got some nice running videos of this truck in particular. I really like that you've got your own logo cut and placed on the truck. I think that's pretty cool. Looks really good. SCX 10-2, from what I can tell. More Super Swampers. Dude, I noticed in your video, the latest video, these shocks weren't moving around very much. Have you got, what's your shock oil weight might be too high for whatever weight the actual truck is. So check that next time. Sorry, thanks for the $5. Hey man, sorry I'm late. Yay, thank you so much. Also, the comment you gave me on my video is still one of the coolest things. Thank you. My absolute pleasure. Like I said, I try to watch as many RC channels as I can, and I'm glad I was able to stumble across yours. All right, let's make this truck look good. I like the kind of patinaed finish that you did on the inside, which is a challenging paint job. Not easy to do that. We're going to warm it up a little tiny bit. We're going to tint it a little bit towards magenta. Exposure I'm feeling pretty good about. Maybe amp up our contrast a little bit. I'm going to pull our highlights down so we get a little less. You can actually see it happening up in the windshield here. You pull those highlights up and down, get a little more density. You can actually see some more texture in there. Shadows I'm feeling pretty good about. Whites I'm going to pull that down a little bit too. Blacks we're going to richen those up a little bit as well. And then texture. And everyone say it with me. Clarity, but not a ton, just plus 20 on that one. Vibrance isn't something I'm going to play around with too much because I don't want to overly kind of neonify the moss that's growing there, but we will give it a little touch more saturation, just overall. Then I think we'll go into our HSLs, and hue is the first thing I'm going to adjust, and that's going to adjust the moss on the greens. Because I want to kind of make them feel a little richer, a little bit more punchy. And then I'm also going to go into our saturation slider and pull red saturation up so we get a little bit more of that patinaed finish. And then green, I am going to pull that down a little bit further so it's not so, again, neon. Just kind of keeping it, but not going crazy with it. 30 weight I'm going to use, yes. It's far too high on the shock oil. Yes. Maybe even less overall volume of shock oil. That might help too. Blues, I'm going to pull that out, actually, just in terms of its saturation. Because what it's doing is it's sort of corrupting the reflection in the window and then all the reflection on the actual truck. So we're going to pull that out just so we can make it more about the red and the black that's going on there. All right. Let's do some brush work here. Oops. And I think what we're going to do is just play with some of the shadow work here. Just kind of paint in a little more shadow down here. And that's how we do that. Looks pretty good. Just again to sort of center your eye into the center of frame. One thing on the actual framing of the truck, get a little wider next time, just so we can see a tiny bit more of the background. That really helps. Now let's go up into some of our presets. I think maybe just for fun, we'll see what some of these look like. I'm not saying we're going to go with it, but some of these do actually really kind of make a truck look even more dramatic. Like that film classic one, that looks pretty good. You can see how much of a difference it makes. It just kind of softens everything. It takes a lot of that clarity out. Just seeing if there's anything in here that kind of makes me go, oh yeah, let's give that one a try. We're not going to go black and white. Although we should do one night where everything is black and white. I think that would be really cool. I'm not really seeing anything in my Chris Orwig presets. So let's go back to some of our original presets here. And again, I don't mind this warm contrast one. That's kind of interesting. I like what it's doing in the mud on the tires. But you know what? I think I'm happier with our correction, if I'm honest. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start to play with color grading. And this is a little more towards the film end of things, which is what I'm more familiar with. But what you can do is you can introduce color into only specific channels. So this is only adjusting the highlights. Or the midtones, midtones. So, you can have a bit of fun with that. I think I'm going to keep it more into this warm space here. I think I actually like that better. And then maybe we'll look at highlights and push a little bit of warmth in that too. That looks pretty good. And you can go in and adjust the sliders and kind of play with where that goes. And I think, you know what? I think I'm feeling pretty good about that. So let's go full screen for a moment. Do a little before and after. Again, it's not a massive difference. It's just kind of like picking out detail. That's sort of the focus of this. And it's not about always creating a look for your photos. It's sometimes more about just kind of making them feel a little bit more realistic, a little bit warmer, a little bit more contrasty. There's all kinds of little subtle things you can do to make a big change. Before, after. Thanks, Ed. Much appreciated. And thank you, Quack RC. I'm glad you like it. I think that's going to do it, though, for that one. I know it's been a long time coming. Yeah, I also like the way the shocks are popping there. It's a nice anodized red, and it really shows up nicely in the photo. So there you go. That's done. Great submission. Thank you very much, Quack RC. My apologies for taking so long to get to it. I hope you're happy with the results. All right. Let's see how many more we can get done. Let's try to get 10 more at least. I think that's a good idea. All right. This next one from Jay Hansel. I remember this truck. I've seen this Cherokee Truggy before. And this is a really nice looking photo. I think it's probably a little bit better than the first one that was submitted. So either you're paying attention, or you're learning things, or you're practicing. So good on you. Keep up the good work. All right. It feels like it could be a little bit cooler. So we're going to go cooler. This color is tough because it is very flat. You can see how flat it is. It's actually like soaking up the moisture, which is pretty cool. All right. Let's bring our highlights down a little bit so we can get a little more detail on that hood. Maybe pull our shadows up a little tiny bit. Pull our whites down. I feel like we could do a bit of a crop on this one even. There's a little bit too much negative space down here. If I'm honest, that stick kind of looks like a bird foot. I wonder if we can fix that somehow. Might be able to. This is the bird foot stick removal portion of the show. Let's get rid of the whole thing. When this thing works, it works pretty darn well, I gotta say. I think we can get away with that. And then we'll just fix this one little tiny section of this rock here. There we go. Amazing. Ah, crap. Hi, Vidjo. Somebody was asking about they could use their iPhone. Yes, of course. iPhones actually take pretty good photos, so you can definitely send those. I don't know who that old guy is in the bottom right corner. Oh, it's me. All right, this one might be worthy of a preset. I feel because it's got this sort of like mid-range density. The whole thing is kind of flat. I think it'll actually take well to one of these corrections. So let's do one little change on the HSLs here and just pull that luminance and saturation down on that pumpkin. I wish Axial would start including the black covers in their kits and in their RTRs. I know it's like a thing. The red is like a thing. I get it. But Let's do something different, guys. Just purple ones from now on. So here's a fix underexposure preset, and this is sort of like built to sort of help a shot that is underexposed. And this one is not really totally underexposed. It's pretty good exposure in my mind, but it does really lift a lot of elements. You can see that right away. We're going to have a bit of fun with this one, though. Because it is such a flat color, I feel like one of these cross-processed filters might work nicely. That one isn't bad either. Classic Warm Plus. These California red golds are a little too much. That gold is actually pretty cool. I like that one. But I think we'll go with that one. I think that Film Classic Warm Plus looks really good. I like that. Now let's go in and maybe add a little medium grain. And we'll toss a vignette on that one too. What we'll do now, though, is we'll go in with our brush and we'll make an exposure brush. And we're just going to kind of paint the general area of the truck. There we go. And we can go crazy. You can see how much this affects just that area. Do that. We'll lower our highlights again like I did before. And pull our luminance down because it tends to go out of control on this. There we go. That looks pretty good. Yeah, sadly, there isn't much on that back tire. It's sort of like just kind of hiding out back there. I'll see if I can pull it up anymore, but I don't think there's going to be a ton of info beyond that. It's just, it's the nature of the photo. There isn't much there, so it's about the best I can do, I think. It still looks pretty good, though. Let's go full screen on that for a moment. Wow, full screen, it actually looks pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that one. Before and after. Before, after. That looks great. Is Phoenix, is this you? Is this your truck? I like it. I think you did a great job. Nice photo, too. Thank you very much for your submission. Before, after. Glad I got rid of that stick. That was making me crazy. All right, moving on. Sean Urenda. Great background. Wow. That's awesome. I love that. What an awesome place to play. That's really, really cool. Nice TRX6. Looks like it's got some aftermarket bits and pieces on there. Oh, Hyrax. Wait a second. Hyrax and Super Swampers? I don't know if I approve of that. It's definitely an interesting choice. I guess the Hyrax up front are for grip. That's great, though. Nice Wraith. Which Wraith was this? You go wraithing with it. I'm sorry, I'm done. That's the Wraith. I can't remember the name of this. Spawn. That's what it is. Caught myself before I forgot. All right. All right. Let's see here. Let's warm it up a touch. Get some of that afternoon sun in there. Gonna pull in a gradient here and get this sky looking kind of cool. We'll do sky blue enhance. That actually looks pretty good already. I can dig it. Maybe even get a little more saturation in there. That's nice. I agree. Too many tires in this shot. Let's pull our exposure up a little tiny bit, just 0.14. Definitely pull some more contrast in and get our highlights down a little bit. And maybe even a little more shadow just for fun. You know what? I'm looking at my color correction and I do not look good. So I'm going to fix that quickly. So purple. It's probably just the screen. There, that's... I feel so red. Oh, well. Eh, good enough for jazz. Close enough for jazz. All right. All right. Where was I? Texture. Definitely clarity on this. Feel like this one could be one of those sort of HDR kind of shots. You're turning violet, Violet. Now I look purple. Maybe it's the white balance. You know what it is? It is the white balance. Stand by. Who's messing with my white balance? Oh, it was me. My function button. Function. No. Function. White balance. Day white. There. Now I'm nice and jaundicey. Just the way I like it. Actually, that is better for now. Maybe it needs a little less. Now you're getting a lesson in color correction for video. There. Perfect. Much better. All right. Sorry, Sean. Back to your photo. All right, let's increase our vibrance. Oh, yes. That's looking really good. Vibrance tends to pull a lot of blue into the reflections, which I really like. And then we're going to increase our saturation too. Now, let's go into our brush filters and see if we can enhance those trees. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Good with that. Maybe a brush again, this time for exposure. We'll do sort of a overall here on this truck and a little bit overall on this truck. And we'll just boost that a little bit like that. Cool. Now, I'm going to go down into my color grading here, and in the mids, I am going to try to do a little bit of work here. Just to kind of give it a bit of a hint of sort of like this warmth, this golden kind of warmth. The highlights, we're going to do the same thing. Swing it ever slightly golden. You can see how it's affecting the photo overall. That's feeling pretty good right there. Then maybe we'll throw a light vignette on that too. Okay, let's go into these tires. Pull another brush in for shadows, I think. I'm just painting in a little bit of shadow density here. And we can even play with the exposure on these too. And what I'm going to do is just really amp up the texture. That looks pretty good. Yeah, they're definitely popping. I think there's just so much highlights on the actual edges. Maybe we can even pull those down a little bit further. If we go back into our brush that we used for exposure, and you can actually see it when you hover over it. You can even just click on that to show the overlay. And if we adjust, what was the issue there? Maybe it was just a little tad too much exposure. So there we go. Pull that down a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty good. I think that's a nice blend of foreground and background. This really is more about the environment in which the trucks are. Yeah, I think it's probably, you know why it feels a bit green screeny? I think it's because this tire's actually lifted. I don't think it's even on the rock. It does kind of feel photoshopped though, doesn't it? That's really crazy. Anyway, let's take a look at that full screen. What a photo. That looks great. What a place to play too. I'm pretty jealous. I don't have anything quite like that nearby. Before and after. It's a pretty significant change, I think. That looks pretty good. All right. Thank you, Sean, for your submission. All right, let's move on. Another Andres Hermelo shot. Boy, there's so many good ones that he sends in. They all get sort of tossed into the mix. That's an awesome looking shot. Wow. I'm pretty pleased with this one. Balding, did I get you your before and after you were looking for? All right, let's go back into the app share here. Obviously raining. What a great shot. I love seeing raindrops. In fact, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw the shot that I took of the Lozi Super Baja Ray 2.0 last night. Pretty awesome shot indeed. So it's always fun to get out there in the snow. Obviously, I was like super late when I took those photos. I really, really, really wanted to drive it, but there was no time. I had to go to bed. It's like 11:30 at night. All right. Let's play with this one. I think this, because it's already such a great photo, I don't really need to do anything in terms of correction. Like, we could try cooling it off, but I like where it was at. I feel like color is spot on. Like, he did a really good job. So maybe we just play with a preset here and find something a little bit different. Because honestly, I mean, there isn't much I would do. It looks really good already. Hi, I'm back now. Yeah, so I figured out what the problem is at least. I know what it is now. So we'll be avoiding that from here on out. But yeah, should be good to go. Sorry about that. I know we lost a lot of people. Yeah, that lag monster. You know what it is? It doesn't have anything to do with the internet, and it actually doesn't have anything to do with the computer. It's the piece of software that runs the microphone noise cancellation. It just, for some reason, overruns. Can't figure it out. OBS doesn't like it, but we're back. Yeah, figuring it out is good. It's only taken me 26 episodes. What a joke. But at least it should be good to go now. Yeah. No more lag monster. Lag monster is dead. Officially and forever. thanks, guys. I appreciate you hanging out. I know it's not fun to watch me basically lag for 5 minutes. Anyway, let's fix Andre's photo here. I don't know. It's such a good photo already. I don't really want to mess with it too much. Yes, David, the LS Post. I'm so excited to get on that. I've got the VS410 kit, and it should get finished soon-ish. Soon adjacent, anyway. Let's go warm and moody with this one. I think that's a good one to play with. And we're going to kind of keep it in that sort of warm kind of realm. Maybe lower the exposure a little bit more. Get some more work in the highlights there so we can see some stuff. Actually, we'll pull down the highlights a little bit. There we go. Just typed bye, going back to bed. Too late. You're not going to be able to sleep now. Yeah, it looks like we're running nice and smooth now. So it is that software. That's really interesting. NVIDIA broadcast software letting me down. Brutal. Let's raise our shadows a little bit so we see more of these raindrops. And then let's do something that I pretty much do every single time. Change the hue on these lights. There. And you know what? That's all I'm going to do. I don't think it needs much else. Andre did a great job with that shot. Let's see before and after on that. Before. Right. Before. After. Before. After. I think just warming up those headlights, changing things ever so slightly, just kind of made it a tiny bit more dramatic. Really great shot, though. Really happy to have that one. Thank you, Andre. If you would like to submit your photos for this Lightroom Live, submissions at scalebuildersguild.com. Email me your photos. I correct them like this. I email them back to you, and then you can post them on your social medias. All right, moving on. Wyatt Pettigrew took a great shot of his, wow, that is a pretty cool shot, of his Enduro Sendero, which looks great in that place, wherever this place is. Very, very cool. All right, let's do a rotation, because he's definitely played with our perspective a little bit there. I don't know that we'll be able to get that back to center, but we'll try to help it a little bit, and you got to constrain that so it's going to get a little bit tighter. I think that works. It's not a big photo, as you can see. How deep is your shot? I have no idea, David. I don't really look at the order. Just kind of do them as they come up. All right, let's go back up top here, and we're going to bring our shadows up a little bit. Bring a little warmth back into there. Lower our exposure a little bit. Keep our contrast up a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to get Rebecca to turn that down a little bit. She probably won't, though. There, it's gone away. Still has mirrors, must be new. Yeah, totally, right? All right. I'm going to go down into my HSLs. I'm going to play with the hue on their greens a little bit here. I feel like they're a little too green. There we go. I think for the sake of making this feel a little more realistic, we're going to get rid of this house back here. Just replace it with trees. There we go. Not a lot of pixels to play with, I will tell you that. Next time, Wyatt, try to send me something with a little more resolution. Sean, it's okay, you're late. All you missed was me fumbling around for 5 minutes. Let's add a little texture and clarity. And I think we'll call this one done. Because honestly, with a photo this small, it's kind of difficult to get anything else out of it. Because there's just, you can see the pixels as I blow up. Before, after. Just a subtle, quick correction, but I think it helps a little bit. Oh, I've been in full screen mode the whole time. Cool. Thanks for your submission, Wyatt. Moving on, Ryan Davis in a metal-bodied Wrath with some pretty aggressive tires. Looks like he's done some sort of hood swap on it. Looks pretty cool. This is a nice photo. I like these browns and oranges that are coming through in these rocks. Nice little mod there on the back too. Very, very cool shot. This one I feel we can definitely do a bit sort of into that sort of... If you've noticed, there is a lot of RC, I think it's RC Dakar. I think that's his Instagram name, RC Dakar. Dakar.rc. He's been doing, here look, he's been doing a lot of photos. You can't go, well, I can go full screen on me. There we go. What happened there? Here we are. All his stuff has a very distinctive look to it. You should definitely follow his channel. He's got some pretty cool stuff. And I think he's been doing some of the social media work for the Horizon brands. So you can see a definite style in his stuff. And we're going to try to duplicate that here. One of the things he does is he definitely puts a lot of warmth in the contrast. You can see it right there. So we're going to stick with that. And then we're going to amp up that saturation a little bit. You can already feel it. One thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to make this sky feel a little more interesting and dramatic here. So we're going to go brush. Oops, done, sorry. Brush. What's going on here? Brush. Oh my goodness. All right, brush. And then we're going to try Sky Drama. And I don't know if there's going to be anything in there. Yeah, there's a little bit of stuff. So we're going to try to sort of paint in some things. Just kind of make some clouds appear. Which I think that actually looks pretty great just as is. And then we can actually, because we're affecting that, we can warm up just those elements so they match the rest of the environment. He's definitely a must follow. He's got some great pics on there. Yeah, we're just painting in some happy little clouds. One little happy cloud over here. Actually, I don't like that one. That was a happy little mistake. I think that's good though for clouds, so we're going to keep that. Now let's go to our texture. And we're going to add in some clarity as well. And you can really see that clarity coming to life in the rocks and in the panels even on the truck. We Control Z that and then Shift Control Z. You can see that come in. Really, really cool. I think we'll paint another brush in here and we'll just go for exposure. And we'll just kind of paint in a little bit on this truck so we can see it a little bit better. All that done. Now I want to make sure I'm not losing that blue, so we'll go into our HSL sliders here and saturation on aqua, blue. There, now it pops up a little bit more. I think we've definitely added some drama in there. See if we can change some of these things here to get some luminance in the oranges a little bit more, a little bit less, a little bit more works. Pull up the saturation on orange even. It's feeling pretty cool. Yeah. So that's sort of trying to duplicate that a little bit. Maybe we can do a bit of a crop on it. Sure thing, RC Good Times. There, we'll make it, actually, let's go 4x5. So now he can use it for Instagram, just as is. Tighten it up even a little bit further, maybe. There we go. Brilliant. That looks great. So that's trying to do a little bit of duplication on RC Dakar's looks. He's a great guy on Instagram, or is it Dakar.rc? I can never remember. I feel like it is. Dakar.rc. Definitely worthy of a follow. So there you go, Ryan Davis. Hope that's cool for you. Let's go full screen. Nice shot. Before, after. That's a fun one. I like that. Good stuff. Perfect photo for that sort of look, too. I think that's a really nice kind of transformation we did on that one. Cool. All right, thanks for your submission, Ryan. On to Ovidiu with his, oh yeah, Gladiator. Look at that environment. Wow. That is so cool. Unfortunately, Adam, I cannot Photoshop you having your Rift. I don't think anybody's got their Rifts anymore. Or they've all been sort of like delayed, I guess, from what I hear. Nice looking Gladiator. Great location again, Ovidiu. Let's get rid of those two people, first of all. There's another guy back there. So we'll get rid of them. Done. And them. That'll do. Excellent. Now there's no more people. Right. All right. So first things first, I think we're going to try to amp up the drama a little bit and get rid of some of this foreground, because that's not really helping the photo. That's good. Definitely better. People hater, yes. Take your leaves and get out of here. What is it? What is it from Back to the Future? Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here? Oh man. All right. I think we'll keep this one fairly cool. And I'm going to lower our exposure a little bit because it's definitely feeling a little overexposed. Actually, instead of that, why don't we try Chris Orwell's fix? Oh, he doesn't have a fix over. He doesn't have a fix overexposure. How dare you? Never mind. I will fix my own exposure. Thank you very much. Now, there's not going to be a lot of data in that sky at all. So why don't we make it a little hazier so it feels kind of natural? Let's be done with that. Brush tool. I mean, we can try and get some drama in that sky, but I doubt that's going to do any good because there's nothing there. I mean, that helps a tiny little bit, but it doesn't really give you much. No, we're not going to do that. We'll just leave that, be done with it. Where was this taken? Great question. I could probably tell you, but then I would have to kill you. Actually, I'll tell you, but I'm not going to show you in case it's somewhere specific. Anybody want to guess where that might be? I can tell you now. I know where it is. Anybody want to guess? I see a couple. Oh, good guesses, guys. Great guesses. It was in the United Kingdom, man. In England. Not quite in Scotland, but close. Pretty cool shot. Pretty cool environment. All right, let's play with some things here. And green that up a little bit. And then we're going to change the hue on our green or our yellows a little bit, so there's like a nice contrast between the two. Your mom's house. Oh, Bo. I'm gonna darken those greens a little bit. Get a little more there too. That's feeling pretty cool. Definitely feel like we can go vignette on this one. Probably medium. Let's go back to texture and clarity. Yeah. Now we're talking. The like button is always appreciated. All right. I'm going to go brush tool again here and go for exposure. Give us a touch more in there. Contrast it up. Bring our highlights down a little bit. Richen up our shadows. Get some texture in there too. Nice. Tap, tap. Give it a little tappy. Tap, taparoo. Oh, thank you, Joe, for brightening my day. All right. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Let's look at that one full screen for a moment. Before, after. Before, after. See, it's like I balanced it out and put a little more emphasis on the truck. I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that one. Thanks, Ovidiu Maja. I always appreciate looking at your photos. Very nice. All right, moving on. Loose Nut RC. Wow, look at this shot. What a great environment. I love this one a lot. And bonus points for putting your Wrangler MTRs on properly. Always great to see that. Thank you very much. That's your home. Go to your home. Yeah, all I know is I want to be there. I'm with you, Joe. Calgon, take me away. All right, we're going to warm this one up a little touch here. This one's from Loose Nut RC. Pull down our exposure a little tiny bit. Pull down our... I don't want to mess with those highlights too much. Maybe a little less contrast overall. Our whites can come down a little bit. Boost our shadows a little bit too. Nice Turk, nice Jerp. It always grinds my gears when somebody puts them MTRs on wrong too. Let's see if we can get those. Those highlights are going to have to stay where they are. It's going to feel really artificial otherwise. Texture. Clarity. I think we can go warm in the highlights too. Yes. 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 That's good. Let's get our vibrancy dialed back a little bit. Let's make this kind of an old-timey photo-ish. Not old-timey, but just goldish. Tint that more towards green to help that. Can you hear my dog playing with his toy upstairs? Just amping up our orange and our yellows here. A little more saturation in the reds too. Let's throw a light vignette on this one. Bring our mids up a lot. And then hue on green, I'm going to affect that. Get that more into our yellow kind of range here. Saturation on our blues is a bit dodgy, so we're going to pull that back. And hue adjust that as well. There we go. That's more of what I was looking for. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I think that's a winner. Hot dog. I think we have a wiener. I'm sorry. Before, after. What a difference. Before, after. That's a cool shot. Nice couple of trucks looking like they're having fun on the rocks. I like that cage. I didn't mention that, but I like that cage. It's very reminiscent of the one I did on the Comanche. Yes, Robbie, you are correct. No, I have RCs everywhere. Look, there's the Super Baja Ray. I'll go full screen for you. Super Baja Ray, and then the LS post body is there because I just like, when I'm working, I just like to stare at it. It's such a nice body. Look at that thing. Look at that. It looks so good. I'm very happy with that. Westmade killed it. And then, you probably won't be able to see it because that's in the way, but Felony is in there. I don't have any space. I'm out of space. Anyway, back to this photo. One more time. Full screen before and after. Okay, let's move on. We're moving on. Chris Anderson sent me this photo of a semi-truck. Looks like a real semi-truck. It's having some issues. I like the framing. Subject matter's great. It looks very realistic. I would be fooled. Except it says Tamiya on the front. So it's not that realistic. It's close, though. It's pretty cool. Looks like a nice grand hauler and one of those old cab overs. Hey, Lone Star RC guy, thanks for the $4.99. I actually like this stream, said my wife. That's a huge compliment. I like it, too. I also like it as well. Thank you, Lone Star. Much appreciated. And thank you, Lone Star RC's wife, for giving this the stamp of approval, if you will. All right, let's clean that white balance up a little bit and maybe increase our exposure ever so slightly. Give us a touch more contrast. Pull down our highlights a little bit. Bring our shadows back up. Pull our black level down. Add some texture. Add some clarity. Maybe not too much. And these are obviously like vintagey style trucks, right? So let's throw some grain at this. Where's my grain? Some medium grain, I think that'll do. I want to pull that saturation on that yellow back a little bit. It's a little hot. And I think it's pretty cool. I like that there's like already like clouds in the background and what looks to be like a race course or something. I'm not sure. It looks pretty neat. Let's see what else we can do with this here. Go back into our saturation levels. Maybe pull our orange up a little bit. That helps. Maybe throw a vignette on that too. It is a cool diorama. You can see there's like a building or something in the background there. Love to get those highlights feeling a little bit warmer. There we go. Oh, Highway to Hell, thanks for the $5. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thanks for the time and effort. My appreciation is just doing these streams and having people actually watch them. I think it's so much fun. I love seeing everyone's RC photos, and I love correcting them. So this is like a bonus for me. Huge bonus. All right. Yes, Parker, I do have a felony. What did I say? Did I say infraction? I meant felony. LS Post is going to be on the same shelf as the Ripper. Yeah, probably. I mean, those are two trucks that'll never sell. Ever. What else do I want to do with this? Maybe let's find a preset here. Kind of works towards this vintagey kind of look. This vintage instant one kind of works. Cool channel you got going here. Thanks, Steinus RC. I will check out your channel. Aged photo? No, that's boring. Warm shadows. I feel like, you know what? I feel like this warm contrast is pretty nice. But I think what we've done is probably better. What a neat photo. Before, after. Before, after. It's subtle. But sometimes subtlety is all you need. I love you too, Parker. All right. Thank you, Chris, for your submission. Let's move on to another one. Timothy Hicks. Nice looking Defender, mate. I've noticed something very interesting about this one. Take a look at this for a moment. I'll go full screen. We can play along. Notice anything about this truck? Notice anything maybe that's a little bit different from all the other Defenders you've seen? Anybody got a good idea what that might be? I'm going to start moving the mouse towards it. Too clean. No, not the hood. First, I didn't really notice it, but I see it now. Yep, you're right. The cage. This cage, just so you know, Timothy, if you're watching, this cage is supposed to go over the front of the truck. Just so you know. Maybe you're doing something different. And I applaud that. If you're thinking outside the box, all the best. Looks good. Interesting. Like, honestly, I don't actually think it's all that wrong. I think it could kind of work. It's pretty neat. I also like that you did all the panel line gaps. That's definitely good. Definitely works. I like it. Your hella lamps are upside down. That's it. I'm not here to critique your build. I think it's a nice looking truck. You built it to your spec. I actually think that's good. More people should do that. So let's see if we can make this truck pop a little bit. This mint green color has always been a bit of a challenge. Let's get rid of this billboard first of all. Hopefully we can. Yeah, that looks pretty muddy. There. There. Yes. Happy little tree added in the background. 20s on a Gladiator is wrong. Yes, Dana. I wholeheartedly agree. All right. Let's increase our exposure a little bit. Maybe warm it up a touch as well. That's already helping a lot. Let's add some texture and clarity too. Maybe not as much clarity. Highlights feel pretty good right where they are. I'm going to raise our shadows ever so slightly, but still crush our blacks back down a little bit. And then what are we going to do about that green? Because if we select green, it's not going to find it because it's not really green. There we go. We can increase our aqua a little bit. Maybe even change the hue of that aqua. There we go. Josh just messaged me. He goes, "Did you get it up and running yet?" I think he forgot that I have a show. forgot that I have a show on Tuesday night. No, I didn't get the thing up and running. Make it purple. I am the Bob Ross of Lightroom. You're absolutely right. All right, let's go up to our vibrance slider. That might help a little bit as well. Saturation, pull that vibrance back down. Now it's looking a bit more minty. Now let's see if we can get these trees to be a little more complementary to that mint. And I don't mean by making them green. I think going sort of more towards the fall end of the spectrum is going to make it a little bit easier on the eye. And then let's go in and throw a medium vignette on this one. Blue Dooley, is that true? If you watch Engineering Explained, he does some math that proves 20s are also a poor choice for fuel economy. So not only are they ugly, math says they're a terrible choice too. That's amazing. I'm copying and pasting that comment because I want to use that. I want to use that for Josh right now. That is amazing. I'm going to open up Messenger and send that. That is amazing. Thank you for that. I love that. That is hilarious. I'm doing a show right now. Maybe you forgot. Also this. So good. Love it. Thank you for that, dude. All right. Sorry, back to the show. All right. So where were we here? Let's take a look at this full screen. Where are we at? Before, after. I think that helps a lot, actually. I think that looks really good. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. Thank you, Timothy. Much appreciated. All right, we got 2 more to go for tonight. Yeah, the cage does look good there. I agree, 100%. All right. Moving on. Jonathan Cronenman sent this very comp-ish looking truck. Look at this cage. That's all cage work under there. That is cool as. Wraith width. I think it's Wraith width or XR width. They're Wraith width axles. Very cool. Definitely pretty compy. I love all the lights. It's good. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see what we can do with this one. Let's warm it up a little tiny bit. You can see that the warmth of these lights underneath are different than the headlights. So he's got 2 different temperatures of LEDs, which is pretty neat. Lower our exposure a bit. Amp up our contrast. Pull down our highlights a little tiny bit. Maybe even a little bit of shadow too. It does look kind of gatekeeper-esque, but this is definitely not a gatekeeper. It's all custom tube work. Looks really good. Yeah. Sick photo. Those are probably 2.2s on that truck. Let's amp up our texture and clarity. Vibrance. I think we'll keep our saturation right where it is. Saturation of individual colors, though. We're going to go a little bit warmer on our undercarriage there. That's pretty cool. And the blue, I'm going to change the hue of that slightly. It's feeling a little... Oof. You know, a little artificial where it was. Where in there is probably a little bit better. That's a cool photo. Maybe pull down the saturation a little tiny bit. There we go. That's good. Let's get these wheels popping. amp up our exposure a little bit and contrast. Highlights down a little bit. Even air a little bit towards the warm end of things too. There we go. Fix the light glob in front. You mean, no, that's lens flaring, and it's hard to get rid of those things. And in fact, it's actually something that makes a photo look pretty good. I will show you an example of a lens flare immediately following the next photo. Yes, hey Wes, yeah, it's always there, man. I'm just waiting for me to have some time to actually crack into that. Maybe even do a little bit of live building with that one, because I think that would be really fun for people to watch. Harley Designs forgot you were live. Too busy playing with my robot over here still. Did the robot type that sentence out for you? Saturation on the red, I want to pull that down because that's a little bit in your face. It's probably hitting it as magenta too. Actually, we'll just bring the luminance down on that. There we go. That's better. I mean, actually, if we go into saturation, I wonder if we can get that to go away. No, we can increase it. We can get it to be a little less green. There we go. That's cool. Yeah, it's a good looking truck. I'm pretty chuffed with this photo. It's really, really neat. Yeah, I think that's probably good. Let's go full screen for a moment. Wow, that's big. It's a big photo. Before, after. Yeah, we're just improving it ever so slightly. I think that's a great looking truck. Thank you, Jonathan, for your submission. All right, final one of the evening from Danny Tremblay. Nice head-on shot of his UMG 10 with some axles. I was going to say Vanquish, but those have way too many holes in them to be Vanquish axles. But nice portals, nice portals nonetheless. Let's get some more orange going in that before we do anything else, because it certainly needs it. That already looks better. Yes, Wes. Super glue is the best way to keep a wound closed. All right. I like how the headlights are flaring out right into the lens. That's pretty cool. Oh, my neck. Ooh. All right. Texture. A little bit of clarity. This is cool. It almost looks as if, and I probably did, bet you used a flash to get that to highlight so well. But that looks pretty cool. Let's do a brush here. The first brush I'm going to do is our tree enhancement, which is always a fun brush. Makes a little bit more of some of the greenery. That's cool. Nice. Maybe we go down on our exposure for those elements a little bit too. There we go. All right. Exposure overall, I'm going to pull that down a little bit so it feels like it's artificially lit forward a bit. And I don't think I'm going to do much else. I actually kind of like where that one's sort of sitting. Maybe we'll try to get some green in the mids. Yeah, that's kind of nice. I like that. I'm just kind of playing with my orange a bit more here. There we go. Cool. I think that looks pretty good. I wonder though, one final thing. See if we can get these headlights to go a bit more yellow. See if it'll work. Might not. That worked a little bit. That's a touch better. Okay, cool. Full screen for a moment. That's a cool shot. I like that one a lot, actually. It's pretty neat. Before, after. See, it's always nice to juxtapose a strong color like orange with green. They really are complementary colors. They go quite well together. Before, after. I think that looks pretty good. All right. Now, real quick, I'm going to go to one of my more recent photos here in the library. And I'm going to show you real quick that lens flare I was talking about. So I took this photo 2 days ago, and I've already done a full correction on it. I can figure out, if I can figure out how to show you what it looked like before. Nope, that's not it. Reset, there we go. That's what it looked like before. And I mean, that flare was, you know, pretty much spot on, perfect, exactly what I wanted in terms of placement. Dead center in the middle of the screen, and enough light from the snow bouncing up to give me some exposure on the truck, and then you know, just the perfect amount of light behind it. So that's what it looked like before, and then after all of the corrections, that's what it looked like after. So that's a good example of a really good flare coming off the lens, and pretty much exactly what I kind of wanted out of it, which I'm pretty pleased with. Just thought I'd show you that photo. All right, let's go back into the quick collection, and I'm going to go through all of the photos that we did today. So starting with Robert Dale's photo, I'll go full screen for all of this. And you guys can put in the comments there what you thought was the photo of the night or photo of the week. There's Robert Dale's before and after, just a subtle, quick correction there, fixing a few minor things here and there. On to Jay Hansel's Cherokee Truggy, before, after. Sean's photo here, before and after. Andres Hermelo, not much of a change here, before, after. He just really nailed that photo. I think it looks amazing. Wyatt Pettigrew's Sendero, before, after, just a subtle correction. Got rid of a house that was in the background there. Ryan Davis, I think this one is a strong contender for photo of the week. Before and after, with that sort of homage to Dakar RC's look that he's got going. Ovidiu's Gladiator in northern UK, before. Got rid of those people after. I really like this one from Loose Nut RC as well. This is a great shot. Before and after. Chris Anderson's diorama. Before, after, before, after. Timothy Hicks and his Defender 90. Before, after. Just a nice kind of correction, just fixing things. Jonathan Croneman's very boss-looking crawler, before and after. Danny Tremblay's UMG. I think that's a pretty cool shot too. Before, after. And last but not least, Quack RC's F100, finally. Before and after. Before, after. And that's it. That's the lot of them. What a great night. I got through 13 more photos tonight, folks. Gentlemen. So that means there's only 60 more to go. As long as no more photos come in, which hasn't happened yet. So if you've got photos you want me to correct and send back to you, send them through to submissions@scalebuildersguild.com and I will get to them ASAP. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Tomorrow night on live stream takeover, Matt Kearney, formerly of Axial, major designer there who designed a lot of trucks that you know and love, starting with like the AX10 and then all the way up to, I think he did the Wraith 1.9 and the SCX-10 III before he left. He'll be joining us tomorrow night and we'll be talking all things Axial and design and all kinds of fun stuff with that. My thanks to Quack RC, Lone Star RC guy, and Highway to Hell for your contributions. Not at all necessary or required, just really nice that you shared with me. Thank you very much, guys. It's always a pleasure. I have such a great time. See you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, and have a great night.